Hi, welcome to Christian Community Development and the Social Justice Tradition. This is Lesson 1. My name is Andrew Sears. I'm the president of City Vision University, and I just want to start off and tell you a little bit of my background and why I'm passionate about this course. I've basically been working in Christian Community Development for 22 years. Before that, I was in it more informally. I grew up in the hood in Kansas City in a lower working class neighborhood. I went to college and I learned to talk white whenever I was in college because everyone said that I talked like I was black. And I started my ministry out of a black church. My supervisor was Angel Halstead, who's African American. And she helped mentor me in a lot of the principles of Christian community development. And in 2000, we founded the organization Tech Mission, which is the parent organization of City Vision University, with all our founding board members coming out of the Christian community development movement, leaders like Rudy Carrasco, Marcus Thorne, Angel Halstead. And one of the first programs we did is we ran a National AmeriCorps program. And we had more Black and Latino leaders, AmeriCorps members, and we had more Black and Latino-led sites than any other national grantee with AmeriCorps. And that was because we really valued Indigenous leadership development. And during that time, and since then, I've partnered and saw into the leadership of hundreds of Christian community development ministries. I love CCDA. I love Christian community development philosophy. But part of the reason why I wanted to create this course is I see that there's a larger social justice tradition. And as a school, we provide radically affordable online education to those who serve the poor, the addicted, and the underserved. And I wanted to design a course that was more inclusive of a diverse range of social justice, Christian social justice traditions. So with that, let me just get into the course outcomes. So what we're trying to do in this course is we want to make it so that after students take this course, you should be able to articulate the 8 principles of Christian community development, reflect on the complexities of relocation, racism, reconciliation, and redistribution, create a community assessment for a neighborhood, including an asset map and needs assessment, compare social justice traditions, including the Black Church, the Brown Church, Rescue Mission, Salvation Army, and global justice traditions, among others. And then the last thing is to apply the principles of Christian community development and social justice traditions into a personal reflection paper and an organizational strategy paper. So for those of you who are in City Vision's degree programs, basically what we're trying to do in our degree programs, we're trying to help provide balance across all 4 domains of skills. So business skills, ministry skills, entrepreneurial skills, and operation skills. This fits into our ministry and relational competencies. Often there's a tension between some of the business and funding competencies and the operations and governance competencies and the social and the innovation competencies. So these are all the courses that we have. Now, explaining that are a part of our management and ministry department. Now, explaining how this fits in, we have 3 different courses at City Vision that are focused on both diversity and cross-cultural issues and just how this fits in. So Christian community development, we're going to use a race and ethnicity lens, a class lens. We're going to be comparing organizational structures, particularly across the social justice dimensions. We're going to cover principles of Christian community development. We're going to cover other social justice traditions. We're going to go into a biblical basis for justice. Our cross-cultural management course has a little bit different race and ethnicity lens. It uses a race, class, and gender lens. And it's focused more on organizational strategy. It does do a class lens. It focuses on ethnic identity development, goes deeper. This course touches on it, but doesn't go deep. The biggest shift is it takes a much more global perspective on global cultural dimensions and organizational culture. And then we have another course on leadership in diverse communities. And that's a standard Christian leadership course and covers Christian leadership theories and academic leadership theories. We touch on gender a lot more deeply in that one. We're looking at organizational change. How do you lead an organization through change to become more diverse? We go much deeper on systems thinking, even though we touch on that in this course. So the course outline, so this is intended to be an 8-week course. In week 1, we're going to be covering Intro to Christian Community Development. Then we're going to go into relocation, ethnic and class identity development. Week 3, we're going to cover racism, reconciliation, and redistribution. Week 4, we're going to cover, and these are covering all the 8 CCD principles, Christian Community Development principles: leadership development, empowerment, community mapping, and assessment. And then weeks 5 through 8, we're going to really go into understanding the unique roles of different social justice traditions. So 5 is going to be the introduction to that. 6, we're going to go into racial and ethnic justice traditions, particularly focusing on the Black and Brown church or Latino church. And then we're going to go into what I call social class-centered justice traditions, so like gospel rescue missions and the Salvation Army. And then week 8, we're going to conclude with global justice traditions in the final project. So if you're taking this course for credit with City Vision, you should plan to spend about an average of 17 hours per week on a 3-credit course. That's how accreditation works. A 3-credit course should take 135 hours. So let me talk a little bit more about the educational design philosophy of this course. We provide content both with reading and videos. Studies have shown that helps retention a lot. And what we want you to do is we want you to take notes. Whenever you're going through a video, take notes on your computer, take notes on a notepad. And part of the reason you're going to be doing that, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get you to reinforce your learning. So we're going to have you do material summaries every week. So take notes and then use that to provide material summaries. And then in each week, you're going to be going through, and in the material summaries, you're going to be applying it. You're going to have 2 live meetings in this course, and then you're going to have discussion forums. And that's where you're going to be focused on applying. And then later in the course, you're going to have 4 major projects. So these are the weeks whenever your major projects are offered. Week 4 is community mapping and assessment. Week 5 is understanding your organizational role and what tradition it's a part of. Week 7 is a personal application paper for everything that you've learned in the course, and week 8 is going to be an organizational application paper for the course. Now, I've talked about the term the social justice tradition, and where this term comes from is it comes from a lot of different Christian leaders over time have said that there's 6 major streams. I mean, you could cut them into different ways, but one of the most popular was by Richard Foster. He's really known for celebration of discipline, spiritual disciplines, but he also had a follow-up book called Streams of Living Water, and he talked about the great traditions of the Christian faith. And he talked about one of those traditions is the social justice tradition. So all of these are very important traditions. Because of the mission of City Vision University, we want to focus particularly on this tradition because most of our students that attend City Vision are interested in a part of this tradition. Not everyone, but most of our students are. So part of what we're trying to do in this course is we're trying to get you to change your perspective on justice. Most people who have a passion for serving the poor or Christian social justice, they have a passion for one justice tradition. So I call that an I shape because this kind of looks like a capital I. And what we want to do is we want to help you move to a T shape. So we still want you to have that passion for your one justice tradition, and we want that to actually go deeper. But we want to help you understand and value other justice traditions, especially as you're partnering and understanding the bigger picture of what's happening in the body of Christ. So, another way, and instead of a T shape, some people actually have a pie shape. So say someone's African American and they work at a rescue mission. They might have deep understanding of the Black church tradition and the rescue mission tradition. Then there's others that, and I'll talk a little bit more about my experience, that have been in many traditions. So, and so some of the traditions we're going to cover is the Black church, rescue missions, Christian Community Development Association, the Latino church, or Latina church, and the Salvation Army. And each of these traditions are really important. There's a lot more, but part of what we're doing in the course is the first 4 weeks are going to be covering not necessarily the Christian Community Development Association tradition. We're going to be talking about Christian community development principles that could be applied to other justice traditions. So that's what we're trying to do in the course, is we're trying to explain each of these traditions, but also there's a lot of principles from Christian community development that could be applied across justice traditions. So required reading for the course, the primary textbook is the book by Wayne Gordon and John Perkins, Making Neighborhoods Whole. And for the second book, our students come from such diverse traditions. We didn't want to just say, here's the one book. And we also realized that we wanted students to be able to go deeper. So we're allowing students to pick a book from their own tradition. We have a recommended book list. If you decide you want to have a different book than the one in the recommended list, it needs to really meet the goals of the course. So you can look at that first slide where we talked about what are the objectives of the course. So some of the big picture goals of this course also, and just what we want to avoid, in secular circles, there's often the religious courses are what they call comparative religions. And really it's an academic study where by the end of it, it's almost guaranteed you're not going to enjoy your religious tradition, because they're basically going to compare it. And, my view of that, that's kind of like if you decided you wanted to have a better marriage and you decided that what you're mainly going to do is you're going to compare your wife to other women, or compare your husband to other men, and that's how you're going to have a better marriage. I think that's just stupid. So I think what we're really trying to do is we're trying to help you get more passionate about your primary tradition. We also don't want to minimize distinctives between traditions. So I know a lot of people are from rescue missions or Salvation Army, and it's really important what makes you unique. Or you're from, the Black church, and it's really important to make you, what makes your tradition unique. And we don't want to minimize the distinctives between those. Now, some of the things that we do want to do in this course is we want to deepen your understanding and passion of your own primary tradition, so that, in the previous diagram, your eye becomes deeper. We want to apply appropriate principles of Christian community development within your tradition. And hopefully you can find a secondary tradition that fits both you and your organization to help increase balance. And we want to help you understand and value other justice traditions to reduce unhelpful judgments and to increase partnership opportunities. So I'm looking forward to connecting with you in this course. If you have any questions, please ask your faculty member. Thanks a lot.